just thrills.
And after months of speculation, the Public Utility Regulatory Commission says it has announced a new tariffs for electricity and water, 79.8% for electricity and 52% for water.
With the increment of the bills, I think it will worry us a lot, because to some of us who do government work, we've not seen any increment in our salaries, yet we are seeing increment in the bills, which I think is going to affect us a lot. So maybe for some of us, we cannot feel it if we get increment in our salaries, because it is the same money that we used to pay the one we used to pay is what we are coming to add. So I don't know, but if possible, then the government should add something to the salaries.
And the Commission says it took into consideration several factors, including the ability of consumers to pay in arriving at these new tariffs. And this is our big story for today. And very soon we'll be speaking to the Electricity Company of Ghana as well as the Ghana Water Company to find out if indeed these are the tariffs needed to upgrade their systems and ensure regular and quality supply. But the consumer is the most important personality here in this whole issue, and we'll be getting onto the street. Emmanuel Ante is out there talking to consumers. 78.9% for electricity and 52% for water. How is the consumer taking it? How is it going to affect the standard of living? Emmanuel Ante is on the streets of Newtown.
Well, we are somewhere in Accra to find out from viewers or house owners and tenants in particular houses how the increment that was announced by the PURC this afternoon on the electricity, which was increased by 78.9%, and then water was also increased to 52%. We will find out from some members of the general public how this will affect them and whether their salaries will match the increment that has been done. I have with me here Antoinette, who will tell us what she's been facing with this increment. Antoinette, you are welcome to Joy News.
Thank you so much.
Well, now water has been increased to 52%. Electricity, 78.9%. It means with electricity, you're going to pay 3 times or more than as to what you pay now. How much do you pay now, and what do you think of what you're going to pay in the nearest future?
Actually, I pay 50 Ghana cedis. And since
50 Ghana cedis for how long?
For the electricity, I use 50 Ghana cedis for at least 3 weeks. And then for the water, it comes at least, if it doesn't really come, then it's like 40 to 45 cedis. I don't pay up to 50 cedis. But then if it's going to be increased, then our pace has not been increased, and I don't know how much I'm going to pay. But if it comes more than that, it's going to break my neck, actually. I can't pay for that. It's too much. Too much.
Well, currently, you are saying, you're telling me right now that your salary does not match. How much are you, or in a range, how much are you earning, and how much do you think this is going to affect your salary that you earn in a month?
Okay, actually in a month I get up to 200 cedis. It's not that much, but I manage. And I buy water, I pay water, and then buy light. I use the prepaid. But then with this, and I manage with 100 cedis to go in and out. But with this one, am I going to use all my pay to buy it and then leave in the house? That means I'm not going to work. And if I work, I'm not going to gain anything. I'm not going to gain anything. And it's really bad.
Okay, now, thank you. I have with me here another woman who is also here, who is not on a salary working basis. She works on her own. She's an entrepreneur who will tell us how this is going to affect her business and her life as we speak. You're welcome, Auntie Melly.
Thank you.
Well, how much is this going to affect you and your business?
It will affect me very much because I don't work on every day. Sometimes I work on 2 weeks per month. So if they increase the electricity, I can't afford to pay the bill. It's too much for me. So they have to increase it for us so that we are not working, we can do something about it. Sometimes I buy the prepaid 20 Ghana cedis. I use it for 2 weeks, but now I'm going to use it for 1 week. It's too much. I can't. So they have to increase it for. We are not working too much. They have to increase it for us.
All right. Now, what you're telling me is that the amount you earn per a week or
40 Ghana per 2 weeks. So now I have 3 kids. And I don't know how to spend the 40 Ghana for the 3 kids. So it's too much for me.
All right. Now, you heard it all from the public. They are saying that the increment is too much. But
Right. Maula and on the streets of Accra, public beginning to react to the new increment, 78.9% for electricity, 52% for water. We'll be getting more reactions from the Public Utility Regulatory Commission. What exactly went into those figures, as well as the ECG and Ghana Water, if this is what they need to get their systems running properly. But don't forget that when the issue broke out, a group, the Truth and Accountability Forum, went to court and said the intention was to stop the PRC from taking as much as 150% increment in utility tariffs. Now, the court threw out the case, but Saka Salia is a spokesperson. He joins me in the studio now. You went to court, the court threw out your case. With the 150% did not come on. It's 78.9% for electricity, 52% for water. You must be happy, I guess.
No, we are very sad. Still very sad because it's still very stupendous. That amount, I think that is out of the reach of the ordinary Ghanaian. Because can you just imagine, out of the blue, if you were paying 1 Ghana cedi a month, now you'll be paying if you were paying 100 Ghana cedi a month, now you'll be paying 178 Ghana cedis, which is still very atrocious. I think that the PURC and then the 8 cohorts must come again, because if you look at the reasons behind this increment, it's not tenable at all. I mean, they talk about the fact that the exchange rate stability, and it is not the consumer's fault that the cedi depreciates. They talk about the fact that they need to do more expansion because 10% normally every year there's an expansion of 10%. It's just like somebody telling you that pay me more because a truck driver telling you should pay him
because he spent a lot more on maintenance. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, pay him because he wants to buy another car.
Right.
There should be a clear distinction between expansion and cost of production.
Right. Hold it. I'll come back to you. Let me speak to Michael Ajman. He is the Director Communications, Ghana Water Company Limited. Now, Michael, thanks so much for speaking to me. Now, are you satisfied? 52% for water. That is what the PRC has agreed to. Are you satisfied?
Naturally, as a company, we are not, because it's below our expectation. Because we actually proposed 112%, but it has almost been half to 52%. So it's below our expectation, but we'll work within this.
Below your expectations, consumers' worry is that they are unable to pay what you earlier proposed, and that should make you perhaps happy because PRC says 52.
PRC said what?
52% for water.
52%, yeah, that's what they've done. But as I said, we actually demanded 112 just so we thought we could just break even and then get money aside to meet other expenses. But as it is now, we have to re-strategize and then perhaps work within this.
So are you suggesting that the 52% will not impact on the quality of service you deliver to consumers?
No, at least it's going to help us in a way. So whatever it is, it's going to improve. It's not as if we are not getting anything at all. What we have got, at least, is going to add to whatever we have, and then it is going to help us to actually improve upon the services.
How far would it go in helping to improve your services?
It's early years. We have to work out the mathematics. But as I said, if you are asking for 100 and you get 52, at least half of. So at least you can work within this and then improve upon whatever you are doing. At least you are working more money than before, so that will help you to work.
What would the 100% increment you were asking for? How would it have impacted on your operations?
Well, we know what we said earlier on. We actually said that was going to help us to meet all the operational expenses that we have to incur during the year. But as it is now, we may have to look at the figures again. And then perhaps look at the price.
Mr. Ajman, so it means that you knew exactly how much will go into improving your services if the PRC had given you what you asked for.
Yes, but because we've had this year we voted about 437 million Ghana cedis for installation of bulbs, zonal and consumer meters, for repair and replacement of pipelines, installation of electromechanical equipment, all of it. So most of these things, that is the money that we voted for. But I assume that now that we didn't get the whole amount that we wanted, we may not get this full amount.
Right.
But as I said, it's early yet. We need to perhaps strategize and then see how.
Right. Let's try and do some calculations here. You were asking for 100%, and you knew exactly what was going to change. Now let's agree also that PRC says I'm giving you 50%. So you can then calculate and tell us what you can do and what you cannot do, not into detail.
I'm just trying to say that it's early yet. So we may have to look at the figures. We just got it about an hour or two ago. So we may have to look at the figures again and see. But as I said, we actually budgeted for about 437 million Ghana cedis, all through revenue inflows from this tariff.
So you're likely to get half of that?
Yeah, we may not get it. But there might be other improvement measures that we need to undertake. Perhaps we may have to step up a revenue generator for collection, trying to go around out there and then collect all the bills that people owe. And I suspect when we do that, we are going to get more money into the system.
Right, thank you so much for speaking to me. Michael Ajiman is Director Communications, Ghana Water Company Limited. Saka Salia is still in the studio. He's a spokesperson for the Truth and Accountability Forum. Now, the PREC is talking about taking measures to support the group that they prefer to call the poor, and that is supposed to cushion them against these price increases. Your group is still not happy with it?
No, I mean, it's neither here nor there. I mean, I don't think there's a particular group that is vulnerable. I mean, Ghanaians in general cannot afford. And this must be taken holistically. It's not about certain group can afford and certain group cannot afford. To be honest with you, look at the system, look at the economic situation of the country, look at the number of taxes that this government has put into goods and services. I mean, the economic system is so hard to the extent that it's so mind-boggling that they can sit down and then come out with this astronomical increase in tariffs. Because to be honest with you, we have taken a stand. The stand is that not more than 20% increase.
That was what your group was asking for?
Yes.
Not more than 20%?
Not more than 20%
for both
increase.
Water and electricity?
Both water and electricity.
So what PRC has agreed is way above what your group proposed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what we are saying. That is the reason why we are going to amass the citizenry onto the streets. We are going to give them a sustained pressure, a sustained demonstration throughout the length and breadth of this nation until they back down from this astronomical increase. We're not going to rest. We're not going to rest on our oars. We'll make sure that because look, the consumer has been, taken for granted. They've been treated with disdain, with savage contempt. I think this is a time that the nation will have to wake up. The populace have to wake up.
ECG and Ghana Water talks about the fact that if they don't get these tariff increases, their services will continue to remain poor.
It's not true, because look, good services is sine qua non to tariff increase. If you give good service and you come to acts of tariff increase, nobody will talk. But this has always annual ritual. Every day, every year, they come to tell us that give us more money, then we'll give you better service. We have not seen any improvement since. And then the PURC has also abnegated its duties of ensuring monitoring and evaluation of the work of these service providers. And that is the reason why we took them to court. Now today, they were confessing they themselves. They said they've treated the service providers with kid gloves, and now they are going to ensure that they stringently adhere to the rules of their mandate. But we said this is late, because from the very beginning, from the word onset, they should have ensured, because the public cannot be taken for granted. I mean, you hear some of the ladies on Newtown, I mean, all crying that they cannot pay. This mirror the concern of the whole Ghanaians.
And this demonstration is expected to perhaps push PRC to go back on its word and reduce the tax?
Yeah, of course.
Is that what you
think?
Yes,
both PRC and the government, because we know that PRC, even though constitutionally they are the body mandated to as it were, approve salaries, tariffs. They do that in consultation with government. And we are saying that they cannot do this without the involvement of government. And government has a responsibility towards the citizenry. The responsibility is that, you see, tariffs is not like normal shops where somebody will say that we need profits, somebody has to pay. If not, government has this responsibility to ensure that the people who cannot pay, pay. But if government decides that they will put certain things in place, whether the people can pay or not pay, they do not care. We have to galvanize the people on the street. We have to sensitize them. We have to let them know their rights. We have to go through the length and breadth of this nation. Let the people wake up and stand up for their rights.
Right. Saka Salia, hold it. Let me go back again. Now, the PRC has stated several reasons for agreeing to 78.9% increase in electricity tariffs and 52% for that of water. Now, let's listen to them, some of the reasons.
In adjusting electricity and water tariffs, the Commission took into consideration the social impact on certain categories of consumers who need to be supported through a lifeline tariff intervention mechanism, which seeks to ensure that such consumers are not overburdened. According to the Commission's rate-setting guidelines, in calculating the tariffs for lifeline consumers, there is the need to take into consideration the price of kerosene and the incomes of consumers in the lifeline category. In all, there are about 937,632 customers on lifeline within the ECG and NETCO networks. The Commission also took into consideration the effect of CD depreciation against the US dollar. The Commission also wished to indicate that the cost of producing electricity has increased due to the shift in the generation mix of using more thermal electricity, natural gas and crude oil as against hydro, that is water from Akosomo and Pong. A growth in demand of 10% per annum in electricity has also contributed to the need for more resources and increased costs to enable the utility service providers to meet the needed expansion.
And of course, those were the reasons for the PRC agreeing to 78.9% and 52% for electricity and water. But let us listen to the exact time when that announcement was made by the PRC.
It is the strong view of the Commission that an increase in tariffs should correspond to an improvement in quality of service, and the Commission will ensure that the following key benchmarks for the attainment of the acceptable and attainable levels of quality of service are strictly adhered to. Subsequent to a careful investigation of the proposal submitted by the utility service providers for utility tariff adjustment and considering concerns of consumers and inputs from stakeholders, the Commission at its meeting today has approved utility tariff increase for various customer categories. In arriving at a decision on the tariff increase, the actual increase averaged 150%, but the Commission took into consideration concerns of stakeholders regarding a one-time quantum increase that will result in a rate shock. In this regard, the Commission has agreed to stagger the tariff increase over a period using the automatic adjustment formula. This is also in consonance with suggestions by key stakeholders during extensive consultations on the matter.
Right, so the Public Utility Regulatory Commission, they're announcing the new tariffs for electricity and water. And just after that, we went on the streets of Accra and spoke to consumers as to how the new tariffs will impact on their ways of life, their salaries, and their wages. Let's listen to them.
As Ghanaians, we must not be too worried about the increment of water bill and so on. You see, when you compare Ghanaian workers to those in the diaspora, you see a vast difference. Whereas those in the developed world work for what they are paid for. We Ghanaians do not work according to what we demand from the government. Being in our neighboring countries like Togo and Cote d'Ivoire, the way they pay light bills when compared to those here in Ghana, you see that ours is cheaper. So we shouldn't get worried.
We just pray that if it increase also, that the government should try and think about the salary also. Yes, then to help, to try to help, because immediately if they help a little bit, the salary also, now people cannot, it can be a balance, a normal balance, yeah.
Once there's increase in price, with our income being stable, it will definitely affect our pocket income. I mean that we can't, what we used to buy before, what we have now, we can't use it to, buy, yeah. Once there's no similar increase in income to make up for the increase in price, it will definitely affect our pocket income.
With the increment of the bills, I think it will worry us a lot, because to some of us who do government work, we've not seen any increment in our salaries, yet we are seeing increment in the bills, which I think is going to affect us a lot. So maybe for some of us, we cannot feel it if we get increment in our salaries, because it is the same money that we need to pay the one we used to pay. It's what we are coming to add. So I don't know, but if possible, then the government should add something to the salaries. With that, we will not have any problem with that.
It's like there wouldn't be any problem in increasing, But I don't see the reason why the government should allow we, the consumers, to go through such an ordeal. In the sense that, how can you be providing me with the services which I'm supposed to pay for, and at the end of the day, understand, you don't provide an effective services, and still, because I don't have any other choice, okay, than to pay, I'll be forced to pay.
You know, increment has been coming all the time. From time memorial till today, we know how every time water will go up, electricity will go up. So we are kind of used to it, you understand. What I'm trying to say right now is that we've invested in a new group of people, a new set of government. Let's see what comes out. Let's see what they can do for us, because we are always expecting them to give us the best of the best. So we don't know for this new set of government to wait and see what they can do for us.
Right, from time immemorial, the increment have been come. That's what he is trying to say. But Salia,
yes,
the views of people, some think that we should take it. Others think otherwise. I'm picking your final word.
Yeah, I think that everybody has his own opinion. But the fact of the matter is that we have a government that is not thinking about the people. We have a government that has become an anathema to its own people. That is the irony of the situation. Where a government is supposed to be working for the people is now busily, the NDC government busily working against the people.
You're hoping your demonstration can change anything?
Yeah, that's why we are saying until they change these tariffs, the demonstration will continue, sustained demonstration.
And when are you starting?
We are starting from next week. We will be serving the police the notice tomorrow. And then the demonstration will start in earnest from next week going.
Thanks so much for speaking to me. Shaka Salia is the spokesperson for the Truth and Accountability Forum. Before I go, let me read this to you. This is from the CJA. This is a statement they've just issued. Now, the statement was actually based on the 150% increment that was proposed. Now, it says that in the last few days, government, through the PRC, has been flying a kite to the effect that there is going to be a massive increase in utility tariffs, namely electricity and water. Over the years, the CGA has expressed serious concerns about astronomical increases in utility tariffs at all levels, and which it considers unjustifiable and unnecessary. The CGA is therefore aware that due to factors such as rates of inflation and currency fluctuations, it sometimes becomes necessary to adjust tariffs. But it is saying that these alone do not justify the increases, and it is asking the PRC and government to back down on the increment, or else it will face the wrath of the public. And this is how we're wrapping up the first part of the show. The next is a GN Interactive segment that talks about you. And of course, keep sending your comment to our Facebook wall. Marianne is joining me, and we're going to hear more from you on what you think about 28.9% for electricity and 52% for water. I'll be back in a minute.